G'day everybody, MasterBucks here. Welcome to another FIFA 18 career mode video. I hope you're all doing okay. Now listen, okay, I'm not the sort of guy to get into politics, you know. I don't care if you're on the left or you're on the right, whatever. But even I think I've got to admit that this video is probably going to end up being like my most Brexit video ever. Today we've got another career mode experiment video, and it's throwing it back to the good old days of football. You know, the days where the game was played by good, proper Englishmen. Back when the football was as hard as a rock, back when people wore flat caps because that's just what you wore back then, and not because you were trying to be a trendy hipster because you watched one episode of Peaky Blinders. I'm talking the good old days where English teams played English players and developed English talent. What I've done for this video is go through every single Premier League team, and I have removed as many players as the game would allow me that were not from either within the United Kingdom or Ireland and Wales. We just threw them in there. Today's video is also brought to you by the mobile game Spartania. It's a cool little strategy game that millions of players across the world play, and it allows you to build your own Spartan army. I've been playing the game for a little bit now, and I'm really starting to get the hang of it. As you can see, my army, it's starting to take shape. You can go around fighting, raiding, and actually challenging other players as well. But keep in mind that goes both ways. You too can be attacked by other players. That's why there's an offensive and a defensive side of things, so you need to take care of both aspects of the army, which is pretty cool. I've got a whole bunch of trips and flights planned pretty soon, and I need something to keep myself planned, and I think I've got it right here because this is something that you can play offline as well. I forgot to mention too, by the way, that it's totally free and available on both iOS and Android. We will be coming back and playing a bit more of Spartania toward the end of the video. Now, obviously, I'm not going to be able to remove every foreign player from each Premier League team because there's just too many of them. So I've only released the highest rated players in each side until we reach the point where we couldn't delist anymore. And now, after having done all that, we're going to take a look at each Premier League team's starting 11 to see what it looks like filled with pretty much only predominantly English, Irish, Scottish, and Welsh talent. I'm just going to call it Brexit from now on. Let's just assume Brexit happened and it was a full-on, no, what was it? A hard Brexit. This is the result of a hard Brexit. It, of course, results in a massive dip in quality. You can still see that there are some players in there like Iwobi, Elneny, and Zelalem, guys that are not from within the United Kingdom or Ireland or Wales. Again, can't get rid of every single one of them, but the higher rated players like an Ozil or a Sanchez, a Lacazette, all those guys, they're gone. Some teams obviously are going to be affected less than others, like for example a Bournemouth, who you'd almost look at that side and go, oh, that's relatively unchanged. You would actually say that that's probably a better side than the current Arsenal starting 11 that we just saw. Brighton looks to have taken a little bit of a hit as well, obviously. There's no player over 80. They've got a 58 rated centre attacking midfielder. We've got Burnley now, who, again, there's just some teams that you'd expect to barely be affected by this at all, and Burnley definitely one of them. Just 70s consistently across the board. Chelsea have been hit pretty hardly, but they're still going to be okay, although the starting 11 is a bit weird. You've got Zappacosta, again, we just ran out of players to delist. Zappacosta getting thrown up forward. Very interesting stuff there. Crystal Palace, again, yeah, you can see all 70s pretty much consistently across the board. There's only one really weak link in that side, and that's Ladapo, or that's how you pronounce it, the 61 rated striker. We've got Everton. Again, I didn't expect Everton to be hit too hard, and to be fair, they haven't. They've got a lot of 80 rated players. Pickford's still in there. Good, consistent side as well. Huddersfield have surprisingly been hit pretty hard by this. You can see a lot of 60 rated players in that team, and poor blokes, their bloody goalkeeper is Rob Green. They have a 57 rated striker in Pike up front as well. I mean, I don't know about Huddersfield's chances. Leicester City as well. I mean, affected a little bit, 62 rated centre back, 67 rated centre mid, but I mean, apart from that, it's okay, really. Liverpool, they have been struck a little hard as well, especially along the back line, but they'll probably make do as well. Out of the two Manchester clubs, I'm assuming that probably City and United are going to be hit about the same, maybe United a little bit more, but Manchester City, they have really been struck hard, still got some talent like Sterling and Walker and all that lot, so it's okay. A 54 rated goalkeeper is not that great, but Manchester United, you can see, actually, you know what, I'll take it back. Rashford, Jones, Smalling, Lingard. There's a lot of academy players that are getting a lot of minutes this season for Manchester United, so maybe I was wrong about that. Buddy, Jones, Carrick, Ashley Young at left back, you know what? I think they'll manage. Newcastle United are faring okay, I suppose. They've got some good players, nice 70s across the board. Fernandes replacing Perez. And again, Fernandes, he's just another one of the players we couldn't get rid of. We ran out of players. Continuing on, Southampton. Again, looking all right, you know, pretty consistent 70s across the board, decent. They'll be one of the better sides. Tottenham, I thought, out of the top teams would be affected less, but still pretty much, it's still tough for them. We've got Davies and Ali and Kane, so you know they've got the great strike pairing, or that little partnership still remains, but everywhere else, Dyer and Winks, they'll be okay, but everywhere else, it's really lower rated. Stoke City are going to be missing players like, of course, Shaqiri, Jesse Rodriguez as well. But, I mean, good chunks of their starting 11's been pretty unaffected by this. Like, you see their midfield has pretty much been not changed at all. Their front three should be okay, except for that 160 rated player. Butland they've still got. The defense is a bit tough, but aside from that, it's okay. We got Swansea City, a team that, again, apart from their goalkeeper and their left back, all 70s once again. And then Watford, the final team. Or actually, no, there's West Bromwich Albion and West Ham after this. Bloody hell, whatever. There's too many teams. Watford, of course, affected by it. Not too much, though. They're a pretty good starting 11, pretty consistent. Bloody West Bromwich Albion, fair play to them. Their lowest rated player is Hal Robson-Kanu, 69. And I thought that he would be higher rated than that, to be totally honest. So I thought they could have been the first team we saw that had consistent 70s after Burnley. And the final team, West Ham, we see them losing Arnautovic, Hernandez, and some other players as well. Lanzini too. So some of their better players are gone, but can still put out a healthy mix of both 70 and 60 rated players. What I'm going to do now as well, guys, is start up a career mode and we will simulate an entire season to see with those teams who ends up finishing where in a full Premier League season. Since it doesn't really matter what team I do the career mode with, it's just a simulation, I'm just going to let it roll and stop. What's the team? Bournemouth. All right, we'll take control of Bournemouth for this one. The settings for this career mode simulation are pretty much the exact same. We've got current customized, so that way we'll make sure that those changes are actually in effect. And we've also disabled the first transfer window, so the teams that I've shown you will stay the same for at least the first half of the season. You know, I feel like I've actually been nice in the random selection here because Bournemouth too, I'm looking and it's almost all 70s across the board except for the goalkeeper who's 64 rated. That might really affect the simulations, but aside from that, their starting 11 looks phenomenal and barely untouched. So let's begin the simulation then. I'm going to keep doing this the exact same way that I've always done it. Month by month by month, we'll continue the simulation, and at the end of each month, we'll check the league table to see where everybody is. And immediately we can see that this is going to be a very different kind of Premier League season, or at least off the first 3 games. I, yes, can probably tone it down a little bit. West Bromwich Albion have won their first 3 games. They're the only team that have currently got a 100% record in the Prem. Liverpool in second. Okay, so we expected a team like that to be, you know, normally up toward the top. But then you've got Brighton, Crystal Palace, Bournemouth, the team we're in control with, Southampton, Chelsea, Everton, Newcastle, Leicester. There's only 2 of the top 6 clubs that are in the top 10. Tottenham are all the way down. I thought they'd be doing all right. They're in 17th. Manchester City and Arsenal are 19th and 20th each. Manchester United are 12th. Look, I don't want to get ahead of myself, so before I get really excited, we'll simulate another couple of games to take it up to 7 for the season, and then I think we'll be getting a relatively good idea. Maybe after at least 1 more month of simulation. Okay, now I think I can get a bit excited. West Bromwich Albion, 6 wins, 1 loss. They lead with 18 points. Liverpool in second. They're the only team out of the top 6 that's really doing any damage. Everyone else is just tanking all the way down. Stoke City third. Crystal Palace fourth. Bournemouth, ourselves, the ones we're controlling. I'm taking no credit for this, but they're 5th. West Ham 6th. Everton 7th. My God. I'm just waiting until... Here, Chelsea 13th. Manchester United 15th. Spurs, Manchester City, and Arsenal are in the relegation zone. Arsenal have played 6 games and have lost 6 games. That's fucking crazy. But let's keep going then. Wow. And look, we're going up against Spurs as well, so it could get even worse for them, especially since bro has the table turned in this career mode. And we are seeing a serious title challenge right now here between Liverpool and West Brom. Stoke City are in the mix as well. Brighton a fair bit off the pace at this point after 10 games played in the Premier League season. Manchester City in 17th, Chelsea in 14th, and Manchester United in 12th. I did not think that it would have this big an effect. And here we are then. We've made it to the 1st of January 2018, and the Premier League table has shaken up a little bit. The 2 teams that are vying for the Premier League title, West Bromwich Albion, it still doesn't feel real saying that, and Liverpool, a little bit more real, but still a bit at the same time off. We see some clubs that have started to tank and some that have started to regroup a little bit. For example, unfortunately, ourselves, Bournemouth, we're in 13th when we were pretty well up in toward the top 5, top 6. And the relegation battle looks pretty well exactly the same. Spurs are now on the bottom. Arsenal, they're tied for points, but Arsenal have the higher goal difference of -21, Spurs with -27. Manchester City rounds it off in 18th place to relegation zone, and they are 5 points away from 17th place Huddersfield. So we could really see Man City, Arsenal, and Spurs both go down. But let's keep it going. Again, more simulations. Who is going to win this Premier League title? I'm so excited to see. Hopefully I don't get sacked before the end of the season, because Bournemouth, I am starting to sense a little bit of a downfall. And after about 25 games in the Premier League, yes, we are keeping track of who's going to win the Premier League itself, but look at Bournemouth. Oh boy, I don't think we're going to get relegated or anything, but we are in freefall. We've gone from being up in the top 6 at the start of the season to now we're in bloody 15th, and it's looking a bit... West Brom's still on top at the moment with 55 points, but Liverpool are on 23 games played, so if they win all of them, they will go and potentially take top spot depending on goal difference. It was looking like Manchester United might have been one of the top 6 clubs that was actually going to finish in the top 6, but nope, they've fallen all the way down again to bloody 10th, and it's still Arsenal, Manchester City and Spurs in the relegation zone, except now we see Arsenal moving a bit closer to that 17th position, so maybe it won't be those three. Maybe Huddersfield or maybe Swansea might drop in there, but there's surely no way it's going to be anyone else that gets relegated. If bloody Bournemouth fall all the way down into the relegation zone with about 13 games left, that is shocking. We are getting very close to the end. Another month of simulation. I'm also going to, at the end of the season, when we do take a look at the table and see who's finished where, I'm going to look at stats to see in a Premier League with no foreign players and it's only players from within the UK, Ireland and bloody Wales, who's going to be the top scorers? Who's the top assister? Who's the best player when you take pretty much all the other best players out the bloody league? And after simulating the month of March, it's Liverpool that go into April as the current team on top of the Premier League. They have 66 points, West Bromwich Albion with 64. And bloody hell, Stoke City, yeah, there's only about 6 or so games left to go, but they are getting close now with 58 points. It's surely going to be those three that finish in the top 3. Burnley with a bit of a push themselves now into the top 4. Relegation zone watch, Arsenal have now climbed out of it. It's crazy. I swear they were almost on the bottom. No, I think it's always been Man City. I don't know, but Arsenal are now out of the Premier League relegation zone. Spurs go back into it. Man City currently 20th. Swansea are in there. Huddersfield go out of it. It's a hell of a relegation battle right now. It's between Arsenal and Huddersfield, Spurs and Swansea. I pretty much assume that Man City are gone. Can't believe it. They're in the championship. And you know what? Let's just simulate all the way to the end of the season. With only a few games left to go, let's just do it, okay? Let's see who finishes on top. Let's see who goes down. It's going to be crazy no matter what. And here we go. We made it to the end of the Premier League season, and it's been crazy. It's been ridiculous, but we have finally come to a conclusion, and we have a Premier League champion. Will it be West Brom? Will it be Liverpool? Ladies and gentlemen, the champions of the Premier League for the very first time are Liverpool with 83 points in the end. It wasn't even close. 10 points over West Bromwich Albion, who will finish in second place. Manchester City, bottom of the table with 31 points. Can you believe it? They've gone from being absolute outright Premier League champions in real life to, in this career mode simulation, after these changes, after removing all the foreigners and getting rid of everyone that was from outside of the United Kingdom or Ireland or Wales, they finish on the bottom. Complete opposite. Swansea City in 19th. Even after we made all these changes, nothing could really save Swansea. And then Spurs in 18th. And I thought Spurs were going to do okay after these changes. I thought they'd maybe not necessarily benefit, but they do all right. Nope, they are down. Huddersfield survived by 3 points. Arsenal survived as well in 16th with 40 points. Oh my goodness, I don't know. I feel like I've probably broken the game at this point because this is just too ridiculous with what has happened. We have got Spurs and Man City relegated with these changes. Just crazy. Alright, I'm going to choose an opponent to attack. I'm going to go with the level 3 Barbarians out to the west. It's not really any defenses and there's only 3 of them guarding it. I've got 3 archers, 3 soldiers and 1 commander. I think they're stuffed. I'll send out my archers first because they're pretty slow. Wait for them to get ahead of steam and we'll bang out the soldiers now as well to catch up to them. And as soon as they clash, bang, out comes the commander. Did I send him away? Here we go. Look at him. He's storming in a battle. The beauty. Maybe I should have sent the commander in a little bit early. Like I said, still getting the hang of it, and I'm catching on pretty quickly, but there you go. The commander's a bit of a beast, but I think he could get even better, so I'm going to upgrade it. I've got the coins for it. I've got, I had 2,500. Now I'm just going to bring that up. And you know what? Since we've got it, let's just finish that up straight away. Boom, he's up to level 2. Let's take him on again. Another 3 barbarians out to, I think, the northeast. In go the soldiers. All right. And get him a bit ahead of steam and then sweep. Because I know that the commander's just that little bit quicker. Or maybe they're about the same speed. Who knows? Battle ends in 12 seconds. Oh dear. Have I taken a bit too long to send them out here? Nah. We'll get it done. No way we're not going to get it done here. You beauty. Another victory. I am the goddamn king of this game. Don't talk to me. You freaking wish you were as good at Spartania as I am. Now, even though I've been killing it, I'm going to challenge another player and see what happens. Battle. Let's do it. Come on. I'm going to get my ass kicked. I'm worried, but let's just send them all out there one by one. Just go. Blitzkrieg. Do it. Oh, we are just running through them. It's 3-on-3 with the soldiers, but we've got the commander. We just steamrolled them all the way through, and yep, that's going to be a W. But there we are, guys. That is Spartania. I'm still building up the army, as you can see, but hopefully in about a week or so, we will be smashing it. Heck, you might even find me and challenge me in the game if you've ever wanted to have a go at me and try to get one up on me, well, there's your shot. But thank you for watching, guys. My name is the MasterBucks. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I do have some other ideas planned for experiments in career mode and trying to just fuck around and see whatever happens. Basically, just trying to break the game is what I'm essentially doing at this point. Until then, guys, take care. My name is the MasterBucks, and have a good one.